All right. Well, good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, wherever you are. And thank you for joining the Art of Womanhood interview series. I'm so excited about this series and this project and the interviews that I'm doing with women from everywhere, all walks of life, all ages, just every spectrum of womanhood. And so that's what we're highlighting here, right? And so my name is Angela M. Mitchell, and I am the visionary author for the project, the Art of Womanhood Anthology Series. And today I am talking to my good girlfriend, my sister, my home girl, my Buffalo hometown girl, Miss Tamra T. Bush. And we're going to get into just a little bit of a conversation about womanhood and what it means to us. So without further ado, y'all know I love to say without further ado. I love to say it. And so I just want to just give you a chance to introduce yourself, tell the people who you are, what you do, and we're going to get into it.
Thank you so much for having me, Miss Angie. I'm so excited. I love sitting with you. Hello, audience. Hello there. My name is Tamra T. Bush, and I consider myself an educator. I help educate people on how to protect their rights, how to read contracts, how to repair their credit, everything consumer law. You can come to me for clarity. I will help you along the way, but you got to help yourself first. I'm a huge proponent of education.
Yeah.
My entire business is based on education first. So I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
And it's always a good time when we get together, right?
It
It's
really is.
always,
Always,
it is.
always, always.
That's why we can't get started right, because it's always a good time, man.
Mhm.
So we were talking about this the other day, womanhood, the art of it. Lately, goodness, for the last several years, womanhood has been under attack, right? We have everybody telling us what womanhood is and what it isn't, but they're leaving out the women. You know what I mean? They're leaving out our experiences and our perspectives of womanhood and female relationships and just all things womanhood, and saying, oh my goodness, y'all don't have the market on motherhood and and periods and babies and all of this other stuff. And so that's why I want to just shed light and share our own experiences, because our experiences are exclusive to womanhood, right? I want to get into a little bit about motherhood, because you did write a book, right, about the cheat code. And of course it's about motherhood and your relationship with your son and that. And so I just wanted to tap a little bit into motherhood and womanhood as it relates to you, and what has that experience been for you, and how has it shaped you in your womanhood?
Motherhood is very intimate for me. I have had to make some adjustments in myself in order to make sure that I'm being a good mother. My generation, I was born in the 70s, right? Our generation, and maybe the generation after us, maybe the next generation, even after that, maybe has really lost touch with um uh just really having that aspect of respect, communication. And I'm not knocking any of the other
Oh,
generations,
of
right? I'm
course,
just
of
saying for me
course.
personally, um, with our parents, if there was something that we said, if it was something that we did where they deemed it to be disrespectful, we were disciplined.
Right.
This new generation is something different. They different. My teenager,
Girl, they so different, ain't they? Oh my.
right? It's very different. And so there's a lot of things that he just does not respond to.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to do a self-reflection with motherhood and say, okay, how can I do things differently so that I can connect with my child on a deeper level?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
what worked for us in terms of discipline does not work for this new generation. Certain things that they just do not receive. One of the other things I had to really think about, and the reason why I wrote the cheat code, because it was very important for my son to know who his mother was
Mm-hmm.
from my perspective, from my point of view, not hearing it from other family members, not hearing
Yes.
it from anybody else. I needed for him to understand, why did my mom do this? what was her mannerisms, what was her attitude, so that he can look at himself through my experiences to say, okay, well, I'm this way because of my mother did this, so I'm a reflection of her. So I have
Right.
certain mannerisms that are similar to her, and I do things because of what I observed from her as being my mom. So writing the she code was my way of expressing to him and just laying everything out for him as his mother, saying, this is who I am. These
Right.
are the life experiences that I had. And this is the reason why I interact with you the way that I do.
Right.
And I feel like it gives him more of a self identity. Everybody, it'll give you more of an identity if you just really truly knew who your elders were. That's why
Absolutely.
I would say before, our elders should be writing more of their
Hmm.
experiences and passing it down to the next generation. Because if you don't know who your great great grandfather was, how can you um place certain negative attributes of yourself in check, because you're not
Right.
identifying with what those attributes are? It's going to be hard for you to check it because you don't know where it's coming from. Right.
Absolutely.
So it was so important for me to write that book. And it definitely helped me grow more as a mother, even in writing that. And it definitely brought me closer to my son.
And that is so, that is very important to know where you came from. And like you said, if you don't tell your story, somebody else gonna tell it, and they're not gonna tell it really as it really happened. So I think that's super, super important. That your children know who you are, and not just as mommy, right? And as the wife, and as all of that. They need to know you on a deeper level. And I think, goodness, when we were growing up, we didn't really know that much about our parents and our grandparents. I remember I didn't even know my grandmother name. Her real
You
name.
just
It
knew
was
that was grandma.
it was grandma. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
so of course, if you don't know their name, then you don't really know their story. You know what I mean? Man, we have, especially as our women and our elder women, they carry so much more than we do now. But it would have been nice to know, some of those stories, and know their story, right?
I agree. I agree. I agree. It was a different dynamic back then
It
too,
was absolutely.
with our grandparents, especially with our grandparents. In terms of the workforce,
Right.
our grandmom, a lot of them were homemakers. A lot of them weren't, but a lot of them were homemakers.
Yeah.
The relationship dynamic was definitely different. The parental dynamic was different. Um, Now today, with so many different outside influences coming into the home,
Yeah.
um, you have to be very intentional with motherhood, very
Absolutely.
intentional in terms of communication and what your child is learning. Um, but yeah, you're right. Back in the day, I knew my parents struggled with certain issues,
Right.
but I didn't really know, no. I knew their
Absolutely.
personality,
Right. Right.
but
Right.
their life experiences, I only knew what I saw. I didn't know a lot about their childhood unless they
Mhm.
chose to tell me or
Unless
ask a
it's
question.
moving. Yeah.
There's really no way to know.
Right. 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 And like, if you don't know, you don't know why they have certain mannerisms or why they behave in certain ways. You know what I mean? So I think it's so super important that we do that and let our children know who we are. You know what I mean? So that later on they don't say, well, dang, I didn't know who my mama was. Really at the core. Because you want your story to be told. And we wear so many hats, don't we? We
Oh
are,
yes, ma'am.
we so
Yes, ma'am.
multifaceted. We are so multifaceted. And motherhood, sisterhood, wifehood, all of that. I haven't really gotten into that, into that aspect of womanhood and dived into that because even I think even that part of womanhood has been under attack a little bit. You know what I mean? People, women, I think, are kind of ridiculed if they're saying, I want to be a wife, I want to get married, I want to do, that. And it's like now it's this whole, I'm independent, I don't have to, that type of role that's been kind of pushed into the forefront. And so I think also that being a wife should be celebrated as well, because you have to balance that. You have to balance your being a wife, being a mother, being a business owner. So how do you balance those things? How do you keep those things in check and
Girl.
still keep you though, and still have, hold
Ooh,
on to you as the woman?
ooh, ooh. It's a lot. It can be a lot. Not trying to be superwoman
Yeah,
because there's only so much that I can tackle in a day.
that's
I
right.
got 2 hands, 10 fingers, 2 feet, one mind.
Yeah.
And I have to sometimes for me, it's hard to let the chips fall where they may,
Mm-hmm.
and step back and just let people be instead of always having to be in control. And it's not that I want to be in control, it's just that one of my greatest gifts is the ability to solve problems.
Yeah.
And that translates into control because I'm a critical thinker.
Right.
People
Right.
around me may not be able to think critically and reason their way through certain situations, right? That's just one of the gifts that that the Most High gave me. Um, but I'm one of the things that really helps me stay balanced is my Sabbath
Yeah.
because I go, 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 go every day. I'm on the go, I'm on the go, I'm on the go. And I'm like, I can multitask. Like if you look up multitask in the dictionary, right,
Your
you see
picture
a
right
woman's
there.
hand raised like me,
Yeah.
because we know how to get it done. We're gonna get
That's
it
right.
done. If nobody else gonna get it done, we're gonna get that thing done.
Yep. Yep.
Right. But being able to take a rest um during my week and connect with the Most High is the thing that keeps me balanced because and then also doing time blocking throughout my day,
Right.
like dealing with time blocking, um, being able to manage my time efficiently and making sure I hit certain things. That's really it. That is really it that keeps me balanced. And I'm still a little teetering off a little,
Of
a little bit on
course.
some, but you know,
Because
for the
we
most
always
part,
moving, man. We have so many moving parts just to our day. You know what I mean? It's so much. And like you said, we have to learn to kind of relinquish that control a little bit, that strong black woman narrative, right?
yeah.
That hangs over our head, that I think it poisons us because it leads us to believe that we have to be superwoman and then we have to do every doggone thing, and then we end up being burnt out. So how do you avoid that narrative though? How do you avoid living that narrative and keeping that, just keeping away from that? It's okay to be strong, but how do you avoid taking on the narrative that you have to take on everything because you are a strong black woman?
Mm, that's a deep question. I was listening to something the other day, and I can't remember the name of the gentleman who was speaking. He was speaking to a crowd. I cannot remember his name. I'm sorry. And I think just like you said, women are under attack, right? The
Mm-hmm.
conversation was geared towards what we're talking
Right.
about the fact that women are under attack, but it spoke to how they're currently defining biological women,
Mm-hmm.
like cis women, like all the
Uh-huh. All of
names
the
and all that
crazy
stuff,
labels and that.
right? That's out there right now.
Right.
He said something very interesting because the young lady was basically inferring that he was speaking derogatory towards women. And he's like, wait a minute, hold on. I'm not speaking derogatory towards women at all. I'm actually lifting women up because
Right.
I believe that women, he said it's derogatory for someone to say that women can do what men do. He
Absolutely.
said, I believe that women should do what women do. But when you're saying that a woman can be a man, that in essence is a derogatory thing. We can't take on the world. We cannot take on the world, nor
Right.
should we be compelled to try to compete in a position with a man, whatever that looks like. He
Mm-hmm.
says, so I'm actually trying to lift women up. I'm trying to help them maintain their femininity. I'm
Yeah.
trying
Yeah.
to help them stay in their feminine energy
Yeah.
because we have a lot of women out here that are in their masculine energy all the time because they're always in survival mode,
Yes.
in
And that's
survival mode. And so we have to get it, get it, get it, get it because we can't sit back and be subjective and we can't be passive because we don't have any covering.
that's it.
We don't have any covering. And so I said, man, that is so deep he's like, no, don't get it twisted. He said, it's not derogatory at all. I really don't feel in my heart that women can do or should do what men do. It's not
Mhm.
an equality thing.
It's
It's
not at
really
all.
not.
It's not.
Men were designed for a specific purpose. Women were designed for a specific purpose. And so the problem is that we're getting we're mushing everything together, right? But it
Mhm.
shouldn't be that way.
Mhm.
So for me personally, I've definitely had to do a self-assessment to
Yeah,
make sure that I stay more in my feminine energy. I don't want to be the dominant one,
absolutely.
but our environment forces us to do that.
It does.
And so
It
I
does.
recognize, I guess for me, the way that I combat that is that I have to intentionally recognize when I'm in my masculine energy and check myself and just pull back
Yeah.
and let others do. And I'm just doing what I do.
Yeah, because that is definitely a part of the strong Black woman narrative is that we always have to be on. You know what I mean? And in that masculine energy. And I think again, as of late, it's just that it's that narrative that's pushed that you don't need a man, you don't have to have a man, you can do it all on your own, and da 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 da. And so now we're operating under that masculine guise, not realizing that our femininity is our superpower, man.
Yes, girl.
That's
Yes.
our superpower.
Yes.
It is divine in nature,
Mm-hmm.
we are the givers of life, we are the nurturers, we are the strength, but we don't understand that sometimes. I think we've gotten away from understanding that our softness is okay, our feminine, our femininity, our feminine wiles, it's okay. But
Yes.
again, we don't have that covering, and
That's
it's
what it
we just
is.
we don't have the covering. And so who are we submitting to? What are we submitting for? Because we don't have that covering, right?
That is true.
and
We
and
don't have the covering,
we don't. And I'm
but
not
we,
gonna say
ooh,
it's nowhere, is non-existent. I'm not gonna say that, but we don't have it, because if we did, we wouldn't feel like we have to operate like that. You know what I mean?
and even if we don't have the covering of man, we still have the covering of the Most High.
Come on now.
And we got to lean more into that
Come on now.
because that aspect is missing.
It
And
is.
so
It
when
is.
the Most High is not present with you, with women, with us, then we're more a a type dominant
Mhm.
personality. We're more
Mhm.
masculine because we have not submitted to him. We
Absolutely.
don't necessarily, a lot of women, this is a debatable topic, right? It's a very hot topic
It
in terms
is.
of
It
submission.
is. It
It is a
is.
topic in terms of submission, but submission, spiritual submission is going to flow into your physical relationship. That's the thing that's missing. So if you
Right.
submit to him, instead of going directly at the man for his um uh lacking or
Yes.
his shortfalls, you
Yes.
got to give it to the Most High and let the Most High deal with the man and get him in order. It's not your job to deal with the man. The creator got to deal with his creation.
That's right.
Let the creator handle that. You submit to the creator and everything else is going to fall in order.
That's right.
So that is our covering, but we are not recognizing that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We're not recognizing that. And then are we really, we got to check ourselves on that and
I agree.
figure out, are we in consistent prayer as well? Because if we're not, then we got some work to do.
That's it.
So those women out here that's rah 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 all the time,
You got to check
something
yourself.
missing.
You got to check
Something is
yourself. And
missing.
that is what's missing. I believe people get so wrapped up in it's the religion, it's the religion, it's not this, it's not that, instead of really getting to the core of the message. You know what I mean? And the core of the message is that it's okay to submit in your divinity. And once
Yes.
you submit to the Most High, everything else falls into place. Be not conformed to man's standards. You
Come
see
on.
what I'm saying? And maybe if we step away from that, if we step
Come
away,
on.
we may be able to get where we're trying to go.
I'm
And
telling you,
that leads into my next question. How has societal expectations impacted your journey as a woman?
it hasn't really.
Good.
It hasn't, because I don't get into the all that.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm in competition with myself. I don't compare myself to others. I don't look at what other people are doing
Right.
because it can be very discouraging.
It can.
I don't look at my self-image through the lens of society.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if you know yourself, that's not something that you would even really get into.
That's it.
If you're strong in who you are, you
That's it.
don't even care.
That's it.
Really don't even care.
And but you know what? So many of us are not. So many are not.
That's true.
And
Yeah, I
and
can't.
you're
I girl
looking at
please. I'm too old
come
for that. I
on now.
can't be
I'm
worried
trying
about.
to tell you, I
Mm-mm.
know there was a point, of course, now I'll be 51 years old in a couple of days. So I'm at
Seriously,
where what? you know,
that's what I'm saying, girl.
what?
We up there. I
Yeah,
can't be worried about what people are thinking, because you know what I realize, no matter what I'm doing with the type of work that I do,
right.
people are always going to have an opinion. Regardless if it is a good opinion or a
That's
bad
right.
opinion, it is still an opinion. And the opinion of others about me is none of my
None of
business.
my business,
It's none of
baby.
my business.
You're right. You are absolutely right about that. And a lot of times women let that impact their journey as women. We get so hung up. If you don't know who you are, like you said, you will be worried about oh my God, this woman look like this, or this woman is doing this, and how come she's making more money? How come her butt is bigger? How, you know what I mean? And get all wrapped up in that and then lose who you are as a woman. And so that's why I
No.
think
Mm,
and
mm,
you lose who you
mm,
are as a woman.
I
You're
got
so
to.
busy
Woo!
trying to live up to what they say a real woman is, that you've really lost yourself as the woman that the Most High sent you here to be. You know what I mean?
Ooh,
Because you're so
child.
busy, you got your eye on the wrong plate and the wrong prize, right?
I got to take it back to biblical principles, because one of the Ten Commandments is do not covet your neighbor's wife.
Come on now.
But there is multiplicity in that meaning, because when
Yes.
you think about that commandment, do not covet your neighbor's wife, you're thinking about, okay, I shouldn't covet after a man's wife.
Yeah.
But the dual meaning of that is do not covet, period.
Another one.
Just
Exactly. Just
don't
period.
covet, period. So if you're coveting after someone else's looks, someone else's financial situation,
Mhm.
someone else's house, someone else's car, right? And to take, ooh, girl, this one right here gonna hit a nerve.
It's
This gonna
gonna
hit
hit
a
a
nerve.
nerve.
When you have the attack on women, where you have people coveting what a biological
Come
woman
on now.
is.
Come on now.
Come on,
Come on now.
that's you're breaking the laws of the Ten Commandments. It is all considered coveting.
That's it.
It is all considered coveting. All of it,
All of it. All of it.
right? And you get into jealousy and you get into envy, to the point where you are consumed with attacking a group of people because you don't have what they have.
That's it.
You are breaking the commandments of the Most High.
That's it. And passing out names that you like you say that you've come up with, sis this and
Oh,
girl, I'm a woman,
hey, I'm
period.
so
I'm
over
a
it.
woman.
Like,
That's
listen,
it.
honey,
I'm
I'm
not a
so
simple
over
woman.
it.
I'm not a whatever other kind of woman you done came up with. I am a
None
woman
of that,
that is
baby.
defined by the Most High, baby. I am a woman. I am
That's
the
right.
giver and giver of life, and you can't do that. Period.
That's it, baby. Because
That's
trust,
what
without me,
that.
you wouldn't even
Come on
be
now.
here.
Come on now. And that's, womanhood is not defined by outfits and hair and makeup and, and all of that. There's an art. Like I said, that's what this series is all about. There's an art to womanhood. And you have to be a woman, right?
A real
To
woman.
participate. You got to be a woman to participate, baby. It's not for the weak. It's not.
Baby, baby.
It's not for the weak, man. It's
Oh.
just not. So, as we wrapping this thing up, what are some key lessons that womanhood, motherhood, sisterhood has taught you?
Whew. Some
Just
key
one key
lessons.
lesson. Yeah.
Mm. Always do a self-reflection. Always, always. It's okay to be wrong. Apologize first,
Mm-hmm.
even to your children. Your
Yes.
children need to be heard.
Yes.
Not a dictatorship. and they not slaves.
Yeah. Ain't nobody tell our mama that.
They are not a slave.
Nobody tell our mama that.
No, they not slaves, right? And listen, when you listen, don't listen with the intent to respond.
Yeah.
Just listen. That is a really big lesson for
Yeah.
me, because sometimes when you're listening, you already trying to figure out what your response going to be before the person even finish saying what they're
Yep.
saying.
Yep.
That's not active
That's
listening.
not. It is not.
Active listening matters.
It is not. And it does. And it makes the other person feel respected,
And
and feel
heard.
valued and heard. And everybody wants to be, at the end of the day, we all just want to be heard. We want to be accepted and we want to be respected. Right. So
That is
this has been a beautiful conversation, but as usual, as per usual, again, we always have a good time, when we
we
get
do.
together. So before we get up out of here, tell people how they can get in touch with you, what you have going on, just a little closing segment here.
Absolutely. So you all can find me. I am Tamra T. Bush everywhere. TAMRA TBUSH everywhere. All right. So I have executor training that is starting on September the 1st, which is in a couple days.
My birthday.
You all can get into the private banking course. I have an array of courses out there currently right now. Now, I know you probably are just coming off a vacation and you spend a ton of money. So you don't random credit card bills up, right? So now it's time to go and fix your credit. Go ahead and enroll in that credit course.
Come on now.
I've been out here balling out of control on vacation. I know got some
Uh-huh.
things to deal with your credit, and that's okay, because we all have those times in our life where we, just got to get some things buttoned up and tightened up. But yeah, connect with me. Definitely connect with me on YouTube. That's going to be where you want to connect to first, really. YouTube channel, but you all can find me on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. Yeah,
Everywhere.
that's pretty much it.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Tamra T. Bush everywhere. Just
Everywhere.
Google me. Just Google me. It'll pop up
And
for
you
you.
know what? Y'all ain't even gonna have to Google, because I'm gonna put her information down in the
There you
description.
go.
And all y'all have to do is click it and go find her.
Yeah. Yep.
And so yeah, again, thank you so much, my beautiful sister, for joining me. It's always a pleasure. Thank you everybody for watching. And until next time, I can't wait to do it again. Tune in.